I'm going to show you how a really absurd Gryffindor would play Hogwarts Legacy. I'm so sorry to my Gryffindors watching this, but daring, bravery, and chivalry didn't inspire me enough to make a video, and I really only want to make videos that excite me because otherwise they'll be bad. But then I thought, what if, instead of focusing on Gryffindor's positive traits, I focused on their negative traits? And my character, Shaggy Panner, is determined to make a name for himself, and I'm going to help. Shaggy's the type of wizard who never backs down from a fight. He's racked up some scars over the years, and he's more than just a little familiar with the taste of Wiggenweld potion. But something awful happened shortly after arriving at Hogwarts. Classes started off fine. I had a chance to show off my skills in a classroom duel. I made quite the impression. But while I was in Hogsmeade, a troll burst in to attack, and I did something I'd never done before. I backed down. I dove aside instead of facing my opponent head on. Before I could even gather my thoughts, the troll charged me and I dove again. Once I realized what I'd done, the shame set in. I wouldn't allow myself to back down in fear again, so I unbound the dodge key. From now on, I'll be facing my enemies head on, for better or worse. Playing Hogwarts Legacy without the ability to dodge presents a lot of issues. The most obvious is that there's a lot of unblockable attacks. To survive, I'll need to develop an offense that disrupts my enemies and takes them down faster than they can take me down. But before I could even think about that, I'd need to survive this troll attack, and the only thing I knew for sure was that I was about to take a beating. To lessen the beating, I disrupted and avoided as many of the troll's attacks as possible by barraging him with objects from around the battlefield. I took a beating, and I had to drink 3 Wiggenweld potions, but I survived the rest of the battle without any more cowardly dodge rolls. The fight with the troll taught me a valuable lesson. Not only could I disrupt my enemies with my ancient magic throw, but I could also avoid some of their attacks if I timed it right. I headed to the Hogwarts Dueling Club to show off my newfound power, and I won in a 1v3. This was the beginning of my rise to glory, but I couldn't continue to prove myself because I actually had to go to class. I learned how to brew Wiggenweld potions and rushed out of the classroom as quickly as possible in search of more danger. I didn't have to look hard to find some. A friendly goblin had been robbed and needed a hero to retrieve his stolen goods. He was extremely convincing while asking me to retrieve his supplies for him.
Too dangerous to try and retrieve them.
That's all I needed to hear, so I headed over to the thieves' camp and prepared for a fight. I'm always surprised when Stupefy works against a creature stupid enough to face me in combat. Oh, that's a cute shield. Who's a big, strong goblin? Maybe cast your spell a little faster next time? Just a thought. Don't interrupt me. Wait your turn. Wow, you are ugly. I actually have something for that. Much better. Hardly a moment later, I heard another cry for help. A woman was getting harassed by dark wizards who needed to be taught a lesson.
Fire! Fire! Help me!
I was proud of myself, but my pride turned to horror when I saw the classwork Professor Hecat had assigned. I wouldn't be able to continue improving without completing her assignment, so I headed off into the woods where nobody would see my shameful acts. Thankfully, I don't think any of my classmates saw me, and I vowed to never dodge roll again, no matter what. I continued defeating my enemies with a combination of disruptive attacks and strategic repositions. Dodge rolling for Professor Hecat's class proved to be worth it, as Expelliarmus allows my offense to be even more disruptive, and once I had unlocked the talent trees, it even gave me additional weapons to throw at my enemies. But my next challenge, the Pensive Guardian, was nothing like the enemies I'd faced so far. I arrived at the fight with 8 Wiggenweld potions, and quickly took out the smaller enemies, but the Pensive Guardian was massive. Expelliarmus didn't disarm his attacks, and Protego did nothing to protect me either. Luckily, I could use my ancient magic blast and throw to disrupt or avoid the unblockable attacks he was launching at me. I'd survived the battle, but knew I'd need to make a few changes if I wanted to face even larger opponents. I quickly set up a potion station in the room of requirement so I could augment my offense even more with Maxima and Focus potions, as well as create a steady supply of Wiggenweld potions to cure my inevitable wounds. I also needed to learn more spells, and that included 2 of the unforgivable curses. Gryffindors don't fear the unforgivable curses, and I learned Crucio and Imperio because they would help me to negate even more damage from my enemies by stopping their attacks and preventing damage while I cast them. My final preparation step was to max out the benefits of my gear. It required me to save a Graphorn, a Unicorn, and a Phoenix, as well as raiding bandit camps until I found the traits I wanted to enchant my gear with. But the result was well worth the trouble. I maxed out my gear's offensive and defensive capabilities while also enhancing damage from my Ancient Magic Throw, Ancient Magic Cast, and the recharge rate of my stored Ancient Magic. I was finally ready to prove myself, and the best way to do that would be at a battle arena. If multiple waves of enemies can't defeat a nearly stationary opponent, it would be proof of my resolve. I'm going to power up with potions and use my disruptive combat style to win before they can take me down. The goal is to avoid as many hits as possible by using my unforgivable curses and my ancient magic abilities because enemies can't hit me while I use them. Alright, time to juice up for a rampage. Potions in this game are insanely overpowered. I can just cycle through all of my spells non-stop, just killing most of them in one hit. Anytime I see a troll, it's time for Imperio, because Imperio is completely broken, and trolls do way too much damage. You know what? Pretty much everything in this game is completely broken. I mean, this is my 4th time playing through it, and I mean, you really only need to play it once to figure out that everything in this game is insanely strong. Oh, dodged a little spider blast there. Oh, this is my favorite ancient magic. It's a little slap down. And finish you off with ancient magic, and you know what? I'm gonna play a little game with this last troll. I'm gonna run away and wait for Imperio to end for some catch. Yeah, alright, now cycle the spells and finish him off. My 4 characters and I have decided to take a break from Hogwarts Legacy, but I've got some bloopers for you at the end of this video, and I really hope you enjoyed the conclusion of my Hogwarts Legacy series, and I'll see you next time.
Watch your jet, bro. Watch your jet!
What's up with it, motherfucker?
I'll do it myself.
You gave me no choice.